Okay, moving on to 3.2, we're dealing with more perpendicular lines today. What does perpendicular mean?
Side by side. Lines that intersect and create a 90 degree angle.
Lines that intersect and create a 90-degree angle. How do you know if it's 90 degrees, or how do you know if it's perpendicular looking at a
box or adds up to 90?
It has the box symbol or the two add up to 90. Yep. So here in this diagram, it says R and S are perpendicular to each other, so they create a 90-degree angle. And R and T are also perpendicular to each other, and they also create a 90-degree angle. Okay. We are going to determine whether there is enough information to conclude if these statements are true. Okay. So if we can assume that these two angles are congruent. So angle 3 and angle 5, are those congruent? What does congruent mean first? What does congruent mean?
On the same side.
Beth, what did you say? The same. Congruent means the same or equal, okay? So angle 3 and angle 5, are they congruent?
Yes.
Why?
They're both 90 degrees.
They are both 90 because they both have that symbol. Yep, so A is yes. B, 4 and 5, are those congruent?
Yes.
Why do you say yes?
Because they're both 90 degrees.
How do you know?
Because it's vertical to 3.
Boom. Yep. 4, you can assume 4 is also 90 because R and T are perpendicular to each other, and 4 is vertical to 3. So remember, vertical angles are equal to each other. So you can assume 4 is also a right angle. So since 4 is a right angle and 5 is a right angle, those are congruent. Okay. C, 2 and 3.
No.
Why no?
Because 1 is not 90 degrees.
Yep, it didn't say anything about this being a perpendicular angle. Did not say anything about R and U being perpendicular to each other. Why can you not assume that they are perpendicular?
Because it could be 89 or 91.
Because it could be anything else, right? Don't assume things unless you have the stuff to back it up. Okay? So this one would be no. All right, let's try one more. This one, 6 and 10. Are those congruent to each other? What? 6 and 10.
Yes.
Why yes?
They're both 90 degrees.
They both have that 90-degree symbol. They both have that 90-degree symbol, okay? What does that 90-degree symbol indicate? What vocab term?
Right.
Right angle. What kind of relationship between the lines?
Congruent. Perpendicular.
Perpendicular, okay? What about 7 and 10?
Yes, because they're both. Yes.
Why, Blaze?
7
is vertical angle of 6, and 6 and 10 are 90.
Good. Yep. So this one would also be yes. What about 6 and 8?
No.
Why no?
No.
Because 8 is less than 90.
Because 8 is less than 90. What is the vocab term for less than 90?
Skew.
Acute.
Acute. Yep. So this one would be no. Remember, you cannot assume things. Don't assume things unless you have the stuff to back it up. Okay? Try that next slide. Try this one on your own. From the last slide, we said that angle 7 was already a right angle. So go ahead and fill that in like we did on that last slide. Here are 7, 7 and 11. Are they congruent?
No.
Why yes? 7 and 11. Are they congruent? Why yes?
Because 7 and 11 are both vertical of 6 and 10.
Yep, 10 or 11 is vertical to 10, so vertical angles are congruent, so you can assume that 11 is 90. Okay? Angle 7 and angle 9. Yes or no?
No.
I don't know.
Why no?
Because angle 9 is obtuse.
Angle 9 is obtuse, you cannot assume, okay? You cannot assume that it is perpendicular to anything. So this one would be no. What about 6 and 11?
Yes.
Yes, we've already said both of those are 90. Good. Flip it over to the back. Want to find the value of the variable explaining our reasoning. It says that the two angles EFG and HFG are congruent to each other.
Yes. Yes.
It says they are congruent.
No.
Oh.
What do those red little marks mean? We've talked about before.
They're angles.
They're angles, but what do they?
They're the same angle.
They're different.
They're the same.
They're the same. Those little markings mean congruent. Okay, remember those little markings in there mean congruent. Okay, how are we going to set this up?
I don't. 90. No, 180.
The whole thing is 180, okay? So how can we find the value of x?
5 equals 180.
What is 180 divided by 2? 90, okay. How do we find the value of x? How did you know that?
Because 5x
5x
equals 90.
equals 90. Okay? We know that those are congruent, so we have to take half of 180 to find it. So we know both of these add up to equal 90 degrees. Oh, not 90. So what's our last step?
Divide by 5.
Divide by 5.
Correct?
18.
Well, what is it?
15.
X equals 18?
I swear.
18? All right, there's an argument going. Type it in a calculator.
I am right now.
36.
I don't know if that's true.
Letters or numbers or whatever.
It's 18.
18. Blaze, you're the winner.
Racist.
All right. On this one, what is the whole angle measure? 90. So what do we know about the two angles, the two different angles?
They add up.
They're different, okay? How can we set this up in an equation?
36 plus 9y equals 90.
Everyone agree?
Or 9y plus 36.
Yep, either way. 36 plus 9y equal to 90. You know the whole angle adds up to equal 90 degrees. So add up the two separate angles to create that whole angle. What's our first step?
Minus 36.
Subtract first. What's 90 minus 36? It is 54.
6.
Divided by 9.
Y equals 6.
Divide by 9 for our last step. And then we know that y equals 6. Good. Awesome. If I asked what that other angle was, so this one's 36, how do I find out what this one is?
Subtract it by 9.
6 times 9. What's 6 times 9?
36.
54.
Oh.
And then does 54 plus 36 give you 90?
Yes.
Bingo, you did it right. Okay. Any questions over perpendicular relationships and finding angle measures?
No.
No?